In a world increasingly united against the adversities of climate change, one figure stands apart: Donald Trump. This video explores the stark contrast between global efforts to combat climate change and Trump's staunch defense of fossil fuels. As we delve into the various facets of this conflict, we'll examine Trump's withdrawal from international climate agreements, the rollback of critical environmental protections, and his administration's neglect of renewable energy advancements. Join us as we uncover how these actions have far-reaching implications for both the planet and future generations. 1. The Global Climate Coalition versus Trump's withdrawal. In an era where global unity is crucial for tackling climate change, the world watched in disbelief as the United States, under President Trump, withdrew from the Paris Agreement. This agreement, signed by nearly every nation, aimed to combat climate change by limiting global warming. But Trump's decision marked the U.S. as one of the few major nations to refuse commitment. This withdrawal sent ripples through international climate efforts, as the U.S. was not just any participant but a significant player. Many countries had looked to the U.S. for leadership, and this sudden exit left a void. While the world moved forward with climate action, this decision was seen as a step back for global environmental progress. 2. Rolling back environmental protections. During Trump's administration, over 100 environmental protections were rolled back, favoring the interests of fossil fuel companies. These rollbacks made it significantly easier for these companies to drill, mine, and pollute without stringent oversight. This dismantling of regulations was not just about reducing bureaucracy, it was a clear nod to industries that prioritized profit over planet. Environmentalists raised concerns as ecosystems were put at risk, and the long-term health of the planet was jeopardized. These actions were seen as prioritizing short-term economic gain over sustainable environmental stewardship. 3. Neglecting renewable energy advancement. As the world invested heavily in renewable energy technologies like wind, solar, and battery storage, the Trump administration took an opposite stance. Funding for renewable energy projects was significantly slashed, hindering the progress of clean energy in the U.S. This decision was puzzling to many, as renewable energy not only promises a cleaner environment but also the potential for job creation. While other nations surged ahead in the renewable energy race, America's momentum was stalled. This lack of investment meant missed opportunities in innovation and leadership in the global energy sector. 4. Drilling in protected areas. One of the most controversial moves during Trump's tenure was the push for drilling in protected areas, including the pristine Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. This decision faced staunch opposition from environmentalists and indigenous groups who feared the irreversible damage to these ecosystems. The Arctic Refuge is home to diverse wildlife, and drilling posed threats to their habitats. Despite global calls for conservation, the administration prioritized energy exploration over ecological preservation. This move highlighted the administration's commitment to fossil fuels, even in the face of widespread environmental concern. 5. Prolonging coal's decline. Globally, coal has been on a steady decline, with many countries shifting towards cleaner energy sources. However, Trump's policies aim to artificially extend the lifespan of coal by removing pollution controls. These controls were initially put in place to reduce harmful emissions and protect public health. By relaxing these regulations, the administration ignored pressing climate concerns and favored an industry in decline. This decision was seen as a temporary lifeline for coal but came at the cost of increased emissions and environmental degradation. 6. In regulated methane emissions. Methane, a potent greenhouse gas, was left unregulated under Trump, allowing energy companies to release it without restriction. Methane is known to have a more significant impact on global warming than carbon dioxide, making its regulation crucial. By rolling back methane rules, the administration provided a free pass to energy companies, leading to increased emissions. Environmentalists warned of the long-term effects, as unchecked methane release could accelerate climate change. This deregulation was a stark contrast to global efforts aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions. 7. Disrupting global climate talks. Under Trump, U.S. representatives were known to disrupt United Nations climate talks, hindering the formation of stronger global agreements. These disruptions were not just procedural, they were symbolic of the administration's stance on climate change. By preventing consensus, the U.S. played a role in slowing down international climate action. This approach was criticized by many nations who saw it as a barrier to progress. Instead of collaborating for a common cause, the U.S. stood as an outlier, complicating efforts to address a global crisis. 8. Promoting fossil fuels abroad. Trump's administration actively promoted American oil and gas to foreign governments, prioritizing fossil fuel exports over clean energy partnerships. This promotion was in stark contrast to the global shift towards renewable energy. While other nations sought to cut emissions and invest in sustainable technologies, the U.S. focused on expanding its fossil fuel footprint. This approach was seen as a missed opportunity for the U.S. to lead in the clean energy sector. By doubling down on fossil fuels, the administration locked the U.S. into a path of higher emissions. 9. Altering climate reports. During Trump's presidency, U.S. government climate reports were often altered or suppressed to downplay the severity of global warming. This manipulation of scientific data was concerning to researchers and environmentalists who rely on accurate information to guide policy. By downplaying climate risks, the administration painted a skewed picture of the reality faced by the planet. This approach not only undermined scientific integrity but also delayed necessary action to combat climate change. The alteration of reports was seen as an attempt to align scientific findings with political agendas. 10. Locking the U.S. into higher emissions. While the world moved forward on carbon neutrality, Trump's policies seemed to lock the U.S. into a future of higher emissions. These policies, favoring fossil fuels and deregulation, set the U.S. on a trajectory contrary to global climate goals. As other nations committed to reducing emissions and transitioning to clean energy, the U.S. risked being left behind. This divergence from international efforts raised concerns about the long-term implications for the environment. The legacy of these policies poses challenges for future administrations aiming to align with global climate commitments.